Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just gonna do a pilot video, and what brought me to this one is I kind of had a tough Planet Wars last week, and I was trying to figure out how I could get just a little bit more power, and why am I having such a hard time with some of my puzzle pieces, just like everybody else, and is there a little bit more of a trick that we can do, and how do we save a little bit of money? I mean, there's just a million different ways that we can approach this and talk about this, and how does this really work, and what can I do here? And so I've been saving and saving and saving and saving and saving. Did I say that enough, guys? And saving for an opportunity to get a lot of my bigger SR pilots up to par, basically. And one thing that I was noticing again is I've been really shy on basically purple puzzle pieces. Now, for the new players, what are puzzle pieces? And so if I hit auto right now, do you see how my blue puzzle piece says 400 of 400? And so when I click onto that, how am I getting those puzzle pieces? And so basically what happens is when you have a pilot, and maybe I can really throw everybody a bone, especially the new players, on what's happening, what are the puzzle pieces, how do I get the puzzle pieces, and so basically when you have a pilot up to 6 stars, now here's the trick here, guys. 6 stars, those pilot shards now start turning into puzzle pieces because those are overages of basically that pilot. And so I was kind of smart back in the day, and I did my in pilots. Now, if you look at my in pilots here, guys, I went ahead and awakened all of them just because they're a little bit easier to get. But at the same time, every time I awakened them, again, anytime I'd get one of these pilot shards, they turn into a blue puzzle piece. And so that really helped me out to getting into the R's and then getting into the SR pilots, because what do they always say? They need blue puzzle pieces or purple puzzle pieces. Now, your purple puzzle pieces are your overage shards from your R pilots, and then your gold puzzle pieces are your overages of your shards to basically your SR pilots. And so, again, I was kind of just wanting to beef up just a tiny bit last week, and I started really thinking about this, and I've been pretty good about it. And I updated a pilot, and I was like, maybe you should just wait, and maybe we can do a video, throw a little bone to some of the newer players. And one thing is everybody's always after what? The pilots for PvP. Me personally, I did it a little bit backwards, and I'll tell you guys why. I went after more of the pilots for the guns and the missiles, because I wanted a higher score in the Titan so I could get my equipment a little bit faster and guarantee that I can get into Legend if I could and stay in Legend. So I went a little bit more south onto that road versus the PvP road, and regrets to both sides. Now, most of this game is playing with your Legion and playing it in Star Scramble and Planet Wars. And so if I did it differently and I was a new player and I had somebody like me making a video and telling somebody, maybe go after the PvP or PvP pilots first, and maybe do a main gun, maybe your missile. I do not regret completely how I've played the game. So don't get me wrong, just because I've been learning and learning and learning like you guys. Lots of mistakes, lots and lots and lots of mistakes. I still make mistakes to this day, guys. I mean, that's what this game's about, is just learning and trying to help each other. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to get the high score. And so what I started realizing is for a long time I was like, don't go after your strong foe pilots. Don't go after your common pilots. Don't really go after those. And there's a give or take in what I'm going to tell you guys on this. So when you go after your strong foes and you go after your common pilots, what happens is and here's a little trick, and I'm just going to throw it out there as I'm saying this right now. So I'm going to use Morgana as an example of what I'm saying here. So if I'm going after those SR bigger pilots and I want to awaken them, they're going to require 800, I think some require 900 purple puzzle pieces. And for some odd reason, I personally have struggled more on the purple puzzle pieces than I have the gold, which is really strange because everybody else really struggles on the gold ones. And so I started noticing, especially last week, it's like, well, how in the heck can I get more of my purple puzzle pieces? And then it dawned on me that it is very important to go after your common. And what I mean by common is right here, total bonus, attack on strong foes. Now, me personally, you know, I beat all the missions and I don't really care about the strong foes and I don't care about the normal enemies and I don't care about some of that stuff. So I overlooked that quite a bit. And I got two positives to say about this. One of the positives is, so if you're trying, so let me go up here. So right here, physical defense break and energy defense break. You know, regardless if you like the strong foe or not, there is a positive in getting her, and that is the physical defense break and also the energy defense, depending, you know, on the players. We're having a lot more players playing with Destroyer and Thor, but we still have a big amount of players that are Conqueror fans like me, and they're bigger players and they were a little bit more grandfathered into this than especially the new players. And so that physical energy or the physical defense break and physical defense is a really big portion of this game. And so one of the positives, even though you might not even care about the common pilot here, is you are getting the physical defense break. So you are getting a power up to that. And so right there alone should keep in mind to not skip over these pilots. And again, these are the easier pilots to get more what? Pilot shards. And I'm going to tell you guys a little trick here. So me personally, I wouldn't awaken this pilot. Maybe if I've been playing for 10 years and I had all the extra shards and puzzle pieces and stuff like that, I probably would. But let me tell you the trick to this now. So when you get your pilots to level 6 star, as soon as I go to 6 star, any of her shards that come in now start turning into the purple puzzle pieces. And if you look down here, it's saying I need 900 badges and 180 of her shards. And so what happens to the rest of those? Look at that number. It's I think it's 1650. And so I am going to convert all of those into purple puzzle pieces now by getting her to level 6. So if you look here, again, I did awaken a few of these, and which was good. I'm not complaining. You can see missile attack, and that's what I was telling you guys in the a little bit earlier, is I went after more offense against missions and against the Legion boss, and so I don't really regret that. But again, in player versus player, some of the even smaller players have been able to beat me because they had a better PvP or player versus player pilot setup. So it just depends on what you're actually going after. But again, once you get these pilots into 6s here, and you don't have to awaken them, but the trick again is getting them into 6s. See how I have most of mine into 6s now? And so it dawned on me, hey, this would maybe be a pretty decent video to put out and help some of the other players understand how do you get those puzzle pieces. And again, it's the overage of the pilot shards. And so you can see here, look. And so your goal is, again, is you want to get as many of these to level 6 so that you start getting that overage on your SR, your N, or your R. And so I'm going to start out here, guys. And like I said, I was pumping up last week and I was like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna hold the brakes and maybe we can make a video out of this. But right here so what is it asking? It's asking for blue puzzle pieces. And so if I click onto the blue puzzle pieces, where can I get those extra puzzle pieces or the pilot extra shards that have the overages? And so that's how that works. And so if I go auto, look what it did here. It's going to give me what it's asking in order to get this pilot. And so I'm going to go auto here, see how it went to 400, and I can upgrade her. Now I want to upgrade her again right out of the gate here so I can get those purple puzzle pieces to upgrade some of my SR, or awaken some of my SR pilots. So again, I've been saving and saving and saving and saving for this moment, and I will just share it with you guys, and maybe just talk about this. And like I said, for me, I wish somebody would have told me, hey, all you have to do is get 6s on these pilots, and then you start getting those puzzle pieces. And especially for a new player, that's a pretty huge little tip here for you guys. So I am going to evolve, and now I got all of those purple overage puzzle pieces for my SR pilots. Me personally, I'm still wanting to go after 4 of the awakened SR pilots. Now I'm starting to get more into the PvP side of basically trying to awaken these pilots to get a little bit stronger against some of these bigger players. And there's a couple of R's that I still want. Wing Fighter, boy, what do I have to say here? So they drowned the pilot pool, guys. They did this on purpose, and one of the purposes is, especially on the new guys or the new players and the new girls playing this, they did that on purpose to where it makes it so incredibly difficult to now single out a pilot that you're wanting to awaken or get. And I mean, it would be tough being a new player now versus when they first came out with the pilots. Everybody was a little shell shocked, and okay, that's quite a few pilots. Then they added a few more, and then now they added a few more. And I also have kind of a bad thing to say about that, because some of these old SR pilots and some of your older pilots are now being trumped by the newer pilots, and they did that on purpose to the old school players, because now any of the newer players getting some of the newer pilots are trumping even some of the old school pilots. And so they kind of made this a disaster for everybody, and including the old school players, just because they have all of these pilots. Again, with the new pilots, it kind of what they call nerfed or buffed all of those old pilots. But at the same time, you need those old pilots, because one of the biggest denominators that I told you guys is that physical defense and the physical defense break, or if you're playing against another player, the energy, that is really what is a big factor into this. Also, is who has the bigger physical defense, physical break, energy, blah blah blah. And so don't discredit again some of your common pilots. And common, what I mean by that is strong foes. And so if you have the extra shards, and I know you're trying to race to get the SRs, and I know you're trying to race to get the PV player versus player, it might be smart, again, to go ahead and update and upgrade some of these common pilots right away. That way you can, get the ones that are easiest, get the ones that are showing you, hey, I'm getting a lot of those shards, and take advantage of that. Because again, if you're getting a lot of those pilot shards and you have it again to level 6, guess what's happening? You're starting to turn those into the puzzle pieces to getting some of those other hard to get pilots that you're going after. So it's kind of the moral to why I put this video out. I had to give myself a reminder last week of how to do this, and what am I looking for? Why am I overlooking this? And so hopefully that kind of helps out. But again, there's a couple of SR pilots I have been holding on to and just wanting to upgrade. And I will say one is Athena, and that's critical resistance here, guys. And so you can see the amount of puzzle pieces that you have to do this. And let me see here. So right here, you can see I have them. And the reason why I have them is because I've been collecting and saving those purple puzzle pieces. And I haven't had a terrible time again getting my gold puzzle pieces. It was kind of the purples, and with me updating one of the pilots last week on the R's to 6 and now this one to 6, I got a nice little collection of these puzzle pieces. And then in the future, as I start getting their shards, they're going to turn into puzzle pieces, and it's going to get a little bit easier, especially for me, to getting some of these bigger SR pilots here. But I think you can't really go wrong with Athena. So I'm going to take my chance here. I'm going to awaken her. Another one is Susano. And one thing about Susano, and I have 4 that I really want to get, so I'm kind of on the fence of, where do I put these? And I guess there's not, sometimes you're just going to have to say, what's going to be worth it here? But the one thing with Susano, going back to everything I was just telling you guys about the physical defense break and the physical defense, is that's going to add right there, because I get both by updating him as a pilot. I get both of those. And again, with, especially the old school and bigger players, of course, a lot of them are going to be old school, 2-3 year veterans of playing this game. And they're more likely going to be in their conquerors. And so these are really important, because again, that physical defense and physical defense break, that really is a crucial piece to being able to beat somebody. I know you have all your other little factors in there and stuff, and don't discredit those either, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, buffing or pumping those up, man, that really is a big part of the PvP. Who has the bigger physical defense? And again, that's not always the complete factor at all, but it's a pretty big factor, guys. And again, your energy. So if you're going against an energy guy or girl or player, so I'm on the fence with Susano, Hell, and Lancelot. And I would love to have all 4 of them, because then I'm pretty close into the PvP range of old school pilots, basically, not the new school. Those new school shards are kind of hard to get. I mean, I've been collecting and collecting and collecting, and a lot of mine still haven't opened up, and some of them are only 3-star, and they're pretty dang hard to get. And like I said, Wingfighter watered this down, guys. They watered it down on purpose, and it's really tough to be a new player. And I think that's another reason why I do these videos, is I just wish somebody would give me the advice back then when I needed it. And so I do have some mentors. I do ask other players, really good players in the game, questions still myself. So again, I'm not a master at this game. I'm still learning it as I go. And I decided to help out, other players and teammates and stuff like that. And that's kind of how I got into these videos. And I really do appreciate the support. But now you guys are hearing me ramble, because what should I do? Because again, I want all 4 of them. Just between us guys, of course we do. We want all the pilots, of course. And so, Hell, Lancelot, and Susano, and armor base. And I do have another tip for you guys. I do have another little tip for you guys. And so, somebody gave me this tip, and it made sense after they told me about Susano is a good example right here. The tip I'm going to give you guys. So right here, total bonus armor base HP plus 23% plus 4%. And so I started going after a lot of the pilots that had a percent versus, let me see if I can find a pilot that, okay, so percents. And so you want to really, so right here, okay, so on this pilot here, it says total bonus armor HP plus 407. Now, all day long, now that you heard what I just said, you'd want to go after, so Susano's armor HP and base and blah, blah and so is this one. But this one says plus 407 added to the score. And if you go with the percentage, you're always going to get a higher rate off the percentage than you are the plus 407. And so for me, I started playing my pilots a little bit different when somebody explained that piece to me. Go after the pilots that are going to give you the percentage over basically the number value. So there's another little tip that I can throw to you guys that kind of helped me along the way, and it just makes more sense. And of course, eventually you're going to want this one, of course. But I think all in all, always go after the pilots with the percent first if you have the opportunity. Lancelot, critical damage reduction. I mean, again, Lancelot, Hell, and Susano, I mean, it's kind of a coin toss to a degree. But let's see what happens. Do I have... So I'm out of golds here. And so I'm going to have to go collect some golds. But I just wanted to do this video for you guys again, just to, give you guys, what I'm looking for, what was explained to me a couple of times. And, one last thing here is basically your training guides. Your training guides are really important here, guys. And maybe if you're struggling to get your training guides and, where should I put these? Now, your training guides, I would do a little bit opposite of what I was saying about the pilots. If you're trying to go after PvP, you're trying to get your main gun percentage, you heard what I said, percentage pilots up, put your training guides there first. Do all your common pilot stuff down the road with your training manuals, but go after your PvPs, go after your criticals, go after all the other stuff first, especially if you're a new player. That's where I'd put these training manuals, especially as a new player, and especially if somebody was telling me, I'm telling you guys, that's where I'd put them first, is basically your PvP pilots and a couple of your main gun and your missiles. And notice I always skip over the wing gun. I would always do the wing gun pretty much last. I think after a million videos and different things, the wing gun is the weakest, but don't ever kind of completely exclude the wing gun. I don't ever want to, really push a player thinking that that's the way that goes. I mean, if you have an opportunity, get a couple of the wing guns, okay, guys? Not even training manuals, but even your pilots. If you have the opportunity, and it's going to boost your level up a little bit, it's going to boost your physical and your energy, why not grab them? Again, if you're just going after the puzzle pieces, leave it at 6, and that's fine too. But again, these training manuals, I would go after, the critical damage reductions. I'd go after the player versus player, and again, a couple of the main guns and a couple of the missiles right out of the gate as a new player. I wouldn't mess with all the other stuff. Once you got all of these kind of figured out and all those pilots with their training manuals, then you can start buffering in basically into some of the more common stuff. So there's my tips for you guys. And excuse me, my voice is a little dry here. I probably should have grabbed a drink while doing this longer video. But I really do appreciate you guys. I really do appreciate the support. I really do appreciate all your comments. I do read all of you guys' comments, and I do try to respond to every single player that puts a comment on here. And I do appreciate your videos. Hey, some of you guys have been sending me videos, and hey, try this comparison. Well, I did this comparison, and I love it. That's what it's about. If there's pieces I'm missing, or hey, try it this way, and hey, I've tried it this way, send me your videos, guys. I watch them. Absolutely watch them, just like you're watching mine. And that's what it's about. We're all here to learn. And if you have a better idea or something that's working, I'm all about it, guys. Hey, bring it here. And again, that's what we're trying to do, is just help each other out, help some of the new entry players and mid players. And we're just here again to get a high score. And last but least, as I always say in my videos, guys, we're just here to have fun. So have fun. Don't get stuck in your old ways. Don't get stuck. Go out and test. And again, last but least, I'll say it one last time. Just have fun, guys.